So we're going to do something just a little bit different today that I know the media is absolutely going to hate. But since their coverage of Donald Trump is like 95% negative, we're going to flip the script and show you all of the things that they either want us to forget about him or the things that they hope you never see. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I do appreciate you clicking on the video to watch it. And since you are here, I would love it if you would help me to grow this channel and hit that subscribe button now. And also make sure that your notifications are turned on so that you never miss an upload or a live stream. And to those of you that are returning, you know how much I truly appreciate your continued support. And I would love it if you would make sure that you are subscribed as well. So as you guys may have noticed over the last several years, the coverage of Donald Trump has gotten increasingly more, not only negative, but hostile. It's hard to remember that this is not always the way things have been. If you have an attention span longer than 30 seconds and a memory longer than just a few years, you know that Donald Trump used to be somebody that everybody wanted to be like, everybody wanted to be friends with, everybody wanted to be part of his inner circle. And believe it or not, he was also somebody that was known for his acts of kindness and his acts of charity, and even was described by people in the very same circles that are his biggest critics now as one of the most generous people that they knew. So as the media continues to try to portray this person as the worst person in the world, as this evil dictator who's going to ruin all of our lives, we don't need to focus anymore on the negativity because they do that for us in spades. I am not saying that this man is a saint, but I am definitely saying that he is not the person that the media wants us to believe that he is. I think it's time to remember the way that the media used to treat him and the credibility that they used to give him as a businessman, as a family man, and as a philanthropist. So we're going to look at some of these stories. Some of them go back 30, 40 years. Others are as recent as within the last couple of years. And I know that there are people that are going to watch this video and think that he has totally changed, or that these are lies, or that there has to be more context. There are people that are going to refuse to believe that this is truly who this man is, regardless of what we show them, because that is how effective the media has been in brainwashing the public to believe things about this person that they themselves know are not true. And we just cannot do anything but pray for these people. For those of us who are well aware of how human Donald Trump is, and genuinely know that at his core, despite all of his harshness, despite all of his failings, despite all of his imperfections, that he genuinely does seem to be a good person for the most part. So let's have a look at some of those, because these are the things that the media definitely does not want the public to be aware of. This first clip is from 1984. This is a story of a woman that she and her family owned this farm, and it had been in their family for over 100 years. And it was 1984, and there apparently had been a drought for about 3 years. The farm was not doing well, and her father got to a point where he was completely hopeless and felt that there was no other answer to their family's financial problems other than to take his own life, because he was under the impression that insurance would cover the cost of the farm and it would alleviate some of the stress so that this farm could remain with their family. The story got national attention, it made the news, and somehow made its way up to Donald Trump in New York. Just because of who he is, he felt like he should reach out to this family and help them in some way.
A man from New York reached out to help financially to try to save the farm. He never asked for anything. He just said it really touched his heart when he saw it in the media. So he said because of that, he just really wanted to help. We were very shocked and very appreciative of a man who was pretty much very famous and had lots of money would be interested in saving a poor Georgia farmer to help save his family farm that's been in his family for hundreds of years. And so there was a picture of my mom and Donald and another man from Atlanta that was burning the deed of the debt. I think the biggest thing that I could say about him is most people haven't seen that he does have that kind side to him, giving side. That's the part that we, my family, see when we see him, is the giving, kind-hearted side.
I will link the video in the description box if you do want to watch the whole thing, but it's only about 3 minutes long. What you will notice as a theme in these stories is that this man never asked for anything in return. When these stories came to his attention, he did the best he could to help in any way that he could, whether it be fundraising, whether it be donating directly, or a combination of both. These are the things that really should restore our faith in humanity, and also realize the importance of of allowing people as much opportunity to grow, to succeed, and to thrive as they can, because I truly believe that for the most part, people are good and they tend to help more when they have the ability to do so. The answer is not to penalize the wealthy, but make the opportunity more available and easier for more people to have success so that we can lift up those in need. This next story I want to share is one that I had actually seen before, and this was from Maury Povich, probably back in the 90s, daytime talk show host that you may not have heard of. It was a little bit like Jerry Springer, but maybe not as crazy. But he had these really heartwarming stories on at times. This is a little guest that Maury Povich had on his show to discuss her very rare disease, which is the brittle bone disease. I'm not entirely sure what the official name of it is. And her biggest desire was to be able to find another kid like her that was going through the same struggles, that could perhaps be a pen pal, could be to help be a support to her, to be a friend to her. And that was something that Maury Povich was able to do, was to connect her with another little girl that had the same experiences so that they could be a support to each other. But then as a follow-up to that first episode, she was invited back to the show just so we could all see how she was doing. And there were gifts given to her by people that had seen her story, including from Donald Trump.
There was somebody else who saw it. And he's a very famous person. And he wanted to give you a present too. So watch this in the monitor. I don't know if you know who he is.
Hi, Megan. My name's Donald, and you probably don't know me, but I was watching Maury's show the other day, and I must tell you, you really hit me right here. I think you are so beautiful, and both inside and out. I had a little something, a little gift that I gave to Maury, who's a friend of mine, and a very good golfer. Don't ever play him in golf. He's very, very good, believe me. And I gave him a little gift for you, and I hope you and your mother have a good time with it. And you're very special, and you just keep it up and keep up that attitude. So good luck, and you stay in touch.
So, Donald Trump, he has his name on more buildings in New York City than any other person. And besides that, he is one of the most generous people I know. And he wants you and your mom to have a very special check. And when we talk about Donald Trump, when he gives out checks, we're not talking chump change here.
And he said he is one of the most generous people that he knows. And you are never going to hear somebody in the media say that now. So this next story actually comes from a rally in New York, where this reporter just happened to come across somebody who had an encounter with Trump's father, Fred Trump. And again, this is just another story that the media would really hate for you to hear.
I have an amazing story to tell you real quick about what President Trump's father, Fred Trump, did for myself, for my brother, for my sister, for my mother. 1974, my dad suffered a major heart attack. I went to the same school as Donald Trump, the Q Forest School. 3 days after my father's burial, there was a knock on the door one school morning, 7 a.m. I answered the door. It's a distinguished gentleman. I was 10 years old. My father just died. The gentleman said, "Kid, call your mom." I called my mom from upstairs. She came down. Gentleman said to my mom, "I am Fred Trump, Donald's father." And my mom says, "Yes, I know Donald went to the Q Forest School." And Mr. Fred Trump said to my mom, "Yes, Mrs. Rem, very sorry about Joseph's death. And what you don't know is I'm still on the board of trustees at the Q Forest School. And this morning, I let Headmaster Mr. Philip Rogers know that from this day forward, myself, Fred Trump, out of my own pocket, is going to pay for your 3 children's tuition, because I don't want the kids have to go back into the public school system." And the tuition in 1974 was $2,500 per child, $7,500, which is about $80,000, $100,000 in today's money. And who would do that except the President Trump father? The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, and they give the Trump family grief. The Trump family is a wonderful family, the entire family, sorry. And who else? Can you picture Joseph Biden or Kamala Harris doing that? No. All they care about is buying another mansion. I'm going to tell you, the Trump family is wonderful. I love you, Donald. I wish I could shake your hand. It was my mother's last dying wish to shake your hand and to thank your father, Fred Trump, for what he did for us kids in 1974.
I love that story, and I'm glad that he was able to tell it. But we're not done. There are several stories like this out there, and it is very, very difficult to dig them out of the YouTube archives. But I have heard countless stories over the last several years as we have gotten to know Donald Trump. And again, as the media has pretended that he is this evil person that doesn't care about everyday people and that wants to see our lives completely destroyed. But we need to remember that this isn't the way that the media has always treated President Trump. We need to look at the interviews that both he and his family participated in as he was on the campaign trail 8 years ago, and the fact that these people respected him until they were told not to. This is an interview on CNN, of all places, of Donald Trump and his entire family, all of his kids, getting very real with this man, finding out what it was like to be raised by Donald Trump.
Do you monitor your dad's social media?
He's an adult.
Right.
He knows the consequences.
I know the rules very well, but I know that it's stacked against me and by the establishment.
You think
Dealing
they're
with them
actively
for-
working against you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't see it. It's not like I have 15 miles of proof. I want to have somebody that can deal with Congress, that gets along with Congress, that's a Washington person.
Can you name one?
I do. I don't want to do that now. I think it's inappropriate.
New York has one of the most onerous rules in terms of registration, and it required us to register a long time ago, almost close to a year ago. And we didn't do that. We found out about it sort of after the fact. I have witnessed these incredible female role models that he's employed in the highest executive positions at the Trump organization my entire life. He always taught me that there wasn't anything that I couldn't do.
My brother was this phenomenally handsome guy, great guy, just great in every way, the best personality, everything. But he started drinking, and it became a real problem for him. And he used to tell me, he was quite a bit older, he used to tell me, don't ever drink. I mean, I've never had a glass of alcohol, and yet I own the largest winery in the East Coast. It's crazy.
Was that something you remember distinctly growing up?
Very much
Absolutely.
So. Very much so.
Every day of our life, every morning. Don't drink, don't do drugs. Don't
Every morning.
Every morning before
Every
school.
I have a man sitting here that has never had a drop of alcohol in his life, which is more than I can say for some of the other members of our government body that we have right now. He's also somebody that instilled in his kids never to drink, never to do drugs. And that is a conversation that us as parents have probably repeatedly had with our own kids. And I'm just going to point out, even though this is not about Biden versus Trump, contrast between how their kids have turned out could not be more drastic. I also just have to say it is a little bit humorous at this point to hear him say he doesn't have proof of the establishment working against him. And today we have a completely different story. So I just have a couple of other clips that I want to touch on here as we continue to explore how the media used to treat Trump. Now, this is with Jimmy Fallon. This was about 8 years ago, again, while he was campaigning the first time. And they were not threatened by him. They knew who this man was, and they were able to interact with him on a very human level.
Donald, I want to ask you, because the next time I see you, you could be the president of the United States. I just wanted to know if there's something we could do that's just not presidential, really, or something that we can do now that we're just both civilians. Like
What? This is, I'm not liking the sound of this. Go ahead.
Can I mess your hair up? I'm being gentle. I'm being gentle.
The answer is yes, but the people in New Hampshire, where I'm going to be in about an hour from now, I hope they're going to understand. Okay?
You say yes?
Go ahead with my hairspray.
So this is from an interview with Stephen Colbert, and at least I think that's what his name is. I am not up on my late night talk show hosts. I don't even remember the last time I watched one, but they're having a conversation, and it's, you guys are going to be shocked at even the audience reaction to the subject matter, considering how drastically this has all changed.
Let's talk about immigration for just a second. Okay. I know that you believe that illegal immigrants should all be deported. True?
That's true.
Oh, that's
We
true.
have to-
Okay,
We have
just-
to bring people. Look, we have a country. We have borders. We have no border right now. We
Mhm.
don't have a country. We have to create. Number one, we're going to build a wall. Number two, we're going to.
Okay.
Oh, listen to this. Even with your crowd, I hear
No,
that.
they love
But we want.
they love the
No,
wall.
no.
People love the wall.
We have to have a wall. We have to have a border. And in that wall, we're going to have a beautiful, big, fat door where people can they come into the country. And they come in. Now listen to this.
Okay.
A beautiful door where people can come into the country, but they have to come in legally.
Okay.
That's what
I
a country
understand-
is all
I understand that.
about.
You heard him there, and the crowd cheered. Everybody loves the wall. As we have heard from the left, Trump hates the military. The false story of him calling them suckers and losers, which is something that never happened. But there are countless stories of him interacting with people, with families from the military, with our soldiers, flying overseas to spend time with the military on their bases. Doesn't take any effort at all to see that that narrative is completely false.
Never cried out in pain or anything like that. Asked that his men be taken care of and all.
What rank was he in?
He was a staff sergeant and all, not a general, not
okay.
anything like that, just a staff sergeant, a platoon sergeant.
You take care of yourself.
Thank you so much.
You
I
take care of
really
yourself,
appreciate
okay?
it. I so appreciate you and you too very much.
President
Thank
Trump,
you so
my
much.
son was killed in
Thank
action
you
on
so much.
9/11/2008. He was a
Pardon
U.S.
me?
Navy SEAL.
Absolutely.
And
Where?
A yellow rose
Afghanistan
to remember.
on a night mission.
Tell me his name again.
He was shot
Jimmy. He
going into the
was going to
compound, and he
die.
saved his team.
He knew he
and he
was
took
going
the
to
hit,
kill.
and he done
He
it
wasn't coming
that
home,
night.
and he asked me not to be forgotten.
You take care. He's looking down. He's very proud.
Thank you so much.
Just
Thank you for everything you're doing for the country.
There's a clip that popped up on my social media feed recently of Rob Lowe explaining how Donald Trump donated thousands of dollars to Habitat for Humanity to build homes for Haitians.
That Donald Trump once donated $50,000 to a charity event.
I did. I was doing an event for Habitat for Humanity, and I was on a talk show. And he called in, and he donated to Habitat for
That's
Humanity.
great.
It was nice. Great. Yeah.
Did you did anybody ever see the check, or was it like one of those things?
Yes, they saw the check.
There you go, guys. I just wanted to put a bunch of clips together of all of the things that the media absolutely do not want you to see about Donald Trump. The only narrative that they want us to have about Donald Trump is that he is an awful person, that he doesn't care about everyday people, and that he is selfish and only in it for himself. But he has a long record that shows otherwise. And I would, even though, as I said before, this is not a video to compare Trump to Biden or Trump to Harris, but I would invite you to look at their records and see if you can find even a tenth of what you will find in Donald Trump's past as far as being a charitable person who cares about the little guy. We know the media would absolutely hate it if more people saw these clips, so be sure to share this video on their behalf in David Muir's name or Lindsay Davis's name or Rachel Maddow's name or anybody's name from the hags of The View. Let them know that you are spreading this information in their honor. Please be sure to hit that like button. Make sure that you are subscribed. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one.